So the basis of an asset protection plan for a high net worth individual is typically going to include an asset protection trust. And the strongest asset protection trusts are international. Of all the different choices, the Cook Islands Trust, the Belize Trust, the Nevis Trust, the strongest asset protection trust in the world in our experience, for the longest case law history. Now, this country is part of New Zealand, so it's the most trusted jurisdiction in the world, is the Cook Islands. So the Cook Islands Trust is going to be the basis of our asset protection structure here. So we set up a Cook Islands Trust represented by this rectangle here. Our Cook Islands trustee law firm can step in to protect you as needed. And so what we're going to do, so you have the initial control of everything, is we establish an LLC, a limited liability company. We establish that in the Cook Islands, and that will hold your bank account. So you're the manager of the LLC, you're the signature on the bank account initially, and when the bad thing happens, you have a licensed, bonded law firm / trustee that can step in to protect you. Why do we do that? What benefit does that provide you? Here's the answer. This trustee law firm is not subject to U.S. court orders. So inside your LLC, you're going to put your bank account. You're going to put your stock market portfolio. You'll put all of your liquid assets in the limited liability company that's inside of the trust. Again, you're the signature on the bank account. You're the signature on the stock market portfolio. Unless in the future, you need the trustee law firm to step in. Because if you remained in that position after you had legal duress or a judgment, the judge could just force you to turn all the money over. So that's why we need a third-party intermediary, a trustee law firm that's been licensed and bonded and vetted that can step in to protect you as needed. For the personal residence, we put it into a land trust for privacy of ownership. So our company drafts land trusts. We also draft the deed that's recorded in the public records. The benefit there is privacy of ownership. The public records reflect that the house is in the land trust, but it doesn't say who is the beneficiary of that land trust, so it keeps your name out of the public records. And typically what we'll do here is we'll have a trustee of the land trust, which is a Wyoming LLC, which you own. So that way you have control of the trustee, but your name does not appear in the public records. And what we'll do here is we will typically have a nominee manager to keep your name out of the public records, and we have a virtual office associated with this Wyoming LLC that serves as the trustee of your land trust. Because what shows up in the public records? Well, the address of the property. Well, you can drive by and see that, so there's no secret. The name of the trust, for example, the 123 Main Street Land Trust, and the name of the trustee. Those three things appear in the public records. So we have the land trust set up so nothing ties back to you. We can also have a living trust involved, so the living trust can be the beneficiary of the land trust. That way, when you die or you and your spouse die, everything goes to the kids or whoever you want to have inherit your money. We then take an LLC and we record an equity stripping line of credit type of mortgage against your property. So line of credit meaning no money is changing hands. Like if you got a line of credit down at Bank of America, you can record that against your home, but unless you write a check and draw the money out of the line of credit, it just shows up in the public records as an encumbrance against the property, but no money is changing hands. So this is initially payable to, what we'll typically do is that LLC that's inside of your offshore trust will initially record a mortgage against your property. And again, that is an equity line of credit, so there's no money changing hands. Now we'll get to this in a bit. If we need to get a third-party lender, we have third-party lenders in the Cook Islands who can buy this mortgage and put the proceeds in a you can't touch it account in your offshore trust. So we have that covered if we need to get to that next stage. Okay, now let's talk about the investment property. What do we do there? We'll go ahead and take a look at one investment property, and then we'll look at the broad picture and look at all of them in a little bit. So here's that duplex that's worth $1 million. It's free and clear. We put each duplex in separate land trusts. We do that even if they have a mortgage on them. If you put a property into a land trust, it does not invoke the due on sale clause because we leave you as the beneficiary of that land trust. And then later we have a separate piece of paper called an assignment beneficial interest. And we assign that beneficial interest in the land trust over here to an LLC because it is the beneficiary of a land trust that absorbs all the liability. So we make an LLC the beneficiary of the land trust, so you have asset protection and lawsuit protection. So you have the property is owned by a land trust, and we make the LLC the beneficiary of that land trust. So that is an asset protection strategy that we employ for a high net worth individual.